2, 3, and we are live with another episode of D's Get Degrees. I'm here today with my good pal, Brock, again. Say what up again.
What's going on, guys?
Glad to have you back. Here today, we're going to talk about some things that most college kids find pretty interesting. Partying, bro. Dirty Rack Jack back in the building. Apartment 9. Wear something tight. Tell you lady friends. But yeah, so Brock and I, we're just going to kind of go on some riffing. Just talk about parties, college, the social life, talk about bars, especially the first week back for most of us, a couple weeks in now, kind of getting used to the scene. So yeah, Brock, what's your experience? Obviously, parties, you have a house, you throw parties now. Just a little bit of difference between your freshman year partying till now your senior year.
Right, so my freshman year at Texas A&M, like I mentioned before in the other episodes, I didn't really get to party as much, or the dynamic was a little different. That was because I was in ROTC, so, I had to get up every day, and I didn't really have time to party. There were stricter rules. But when I did find time to party, at least at A&M, I was totally gung-ho. It was so sweet. It was right out of high school, 2015 summer, so I was still in that yo college dude grind type of deal where I want to get hammered, get laid, talk to, bad bitches. So it was really good in that sense where I was really enthusiastic. Texas A&M, a lot of people had the notion that Texas A&M was a huge party school when I was going into...
And obviously Johnny Football, baby.
Right. I think he kind of...
exaggerated.
Yeah, he kind of warped the picture a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like he's the extreme example. Like, he's the quarterback. But I remember, a story about him when he went to, the Texas, one of, the Texas Longhorn frats. So, clearly, the parties must not be that crazy if he's, going to other schools.
To the rival school at that, too. But, so, with Texas A&M at least, and I think most southern schools, the parties were a little different. Obviously, you're going to get the same parties where everyone's just in the house bumping music. But it was a little nuanced in the sense that people were drinking brews and listening to country music versus rap. People were a little bit more... It was more of a barbecue feel.
Well, yeah, that's down south. The same at, Arkansas. Where we're going to, Woo Pig Suey and we're listening to Wagon Wheel rather than being yo, Zoom ass, what's up with the... what's that 2 Chainz song about the headband? Already got one.
Headband.
Yeah, headbands, yeah. It's different vibe. It's I remember freshman year listening to Fetty Wap. That's too. I feel what the crazy part about college is all of the songs that are popular from you associate them with different parties you've been at. So I remember freshman year it was literally freaking Fetty Wap, 679, and what else? Yeah.
Trap Queen is how I met my best friend. Going through the Hell Week in ROTC, like I mentioned before. I remember playing the music once, and this guy came over, and he was like, whoa, dude, is that Trap Queen? And I was like, hell yeah. And at the time, we were both hella sad. We're like, dude, this fucking sucks. So I just remember being in my room, jamming to Fetty Wap, 1738, and then just going off. And that's kind of where the roots of our relationship started. And it was great. That's how I kind of met him. But I think people down south, the Southern hospitality thing is absolutely real. People are a lot nicer, a lot less cold.
Well, yeah, it's because it's one thing. When I moved up here with my new roommates at Amherst, they're my friends, my roommate Eric. So we've known each other since he was in 8th grade and I was in 7th grade when he moved to my hometown. But what ended up happening is he's so nice, and I'm used to all of us being together, and when we tell jokes or when we say something, you're just getting rashed right away.
Right.
And it's tough when you go from you say something and someone just calls you a stupid idiot, and then you just waiting, and then you say something and you're waiting for someone to sit there and be all right, Jack, you're so stupid, bro. What are you saying?
The humor is the dynamic within groups is very different, which is interesting. I think Massachusetts and Northeast, people are just have that, they're kind of reflective of the environment they're in. They're just cold and brute and very just harsh, I guess, which doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't good people by any means, but it's just interesting to see, going to a party, meeting people, and being at parties, you don't really talk to random people as much unless you're hammered and you're whoa, dude, that's sick, or whatever. But at Texas A&M, I found myself talking to a lot more people, a lot of different situations, in ways that I normally wouldn't have. So that was freshman year. It was good, going out, blah, blah.
Well, that was my freshman year when I was at freaking Snoo represent. And we're going up, we had the fraternity house. We're going to, and we had apartment parties. Like, it was a great time. Like, it was literally what college was. It was what I picture college being. And I feel most of my friends did not get that college experience their freshman year. Yeah, yes, you get that college experience. Like, yo, I'm at the parties, but like, I was throwing the parties as a freshman.
Right.
Where most people, that's what like why you want to join an organization. Like, you're on a sports team, same thing. Like, they have the house. It's like most freshmen are coming in, living in their dorms. They're not throwing crap except shitty pre-games and being like, yo, bro, where the chicks at, dude? Who's got the chicks? So it's pretty easy to actually get chicks to your place. It's not high school anymore.
I think high school. Don't even get me started about high school. High school was so sick senior year.
Well, that's
Lip boys.
Lip boys.
Oh, jeez. But my freshman year was my group of friends. It was great because I think, in my opinion, parties are a little bit better when you are with a group of friends. I prefer a smaller party with people you know, with some sprinkled in new people, so you can meet new people, you network, meet, like I just said, meet new people. With my ROTC group, we were a small knit group, and when we went out to party, it was so fun just partying with the boys and just getting dumb lit with each other. Then when I transferred to UMass, the dynamic changed a little bit, where UMass obviously has a reputation of being a zoo because the parties are crazy. There's day drinks.
Darty babies, darty season.
My first week, my roommate Alex was passed out, puking in the toilet, and I was like,
freshman.
Well, we were sophomores at that point.
Oh, even worse. No, that's fun. It's like I remember just when I used to go over to my girlfriend's place freshman and sophomore year. She lived in like a quad, so she had a single, but like all of her roommates were there. And then like I remember after parties one time, she was a freshman, she was like one of their pledges, and she was just passed out in the bathroom, dying, like thrown up on the toilet, fell asleep on the toilet. And it's like in high school you kind of get that, but that's like, I feel like college is the first time you see like all these freshmen just like passing out, like people are dying because they've never had booze before, and you're like,
right,
wow.
Oh, right. I think that's a different thing, because I think our group of friends were pretty, we got hammered in high school.
Dude, we partied before.
We were fucking cool in high school, man. And we already got that out of our system. Granted, it kind of evolved, I guess, to the point where we were going around pretending we were still in high school at college parties trying to fuck with people. That's the best. I'm like, hey, should I go here next year? And people are like, dude, how old are you? You're like, oh, yeah, I'm still a junior in high school. I'm just like here with my cousin. And they're like, what the fuck? In reality, you're a full-grown man, shaved head, beard, and they're like, there's no way this kid's in high school.
It's like, no, dude's totally in high school. Or we have a friend that would go. He didn't go to college, and he'd go to all the schools, and he'd wear like a sweatshirt from that school, and be like, "Yeah, I go there. I totally go there." So shout out to Coach. Hope you listen.
Big Coach, love Coach. Fuck, I want to party with Coach now. I think the appeal to parties, obviously it's kind of lessened in the most recent years, for me at least.
I think for most people, it's like,
as you get older, it kind of loses its novelty. Was before 21, you're just getting hammered with your boys and just getting reckless. You're just doing stupid shit with your boys, and I think that's the appeal. Like,
no, the appeal too is when you're younger and you're not 21, you can't buy alcohol. You're going to like, when you get alcohol, you're like, I just gotta drink it all, man. I just gotta fucking pound it. When you can buy alcohol, it's like, why? I could just go get more. I don't really need to be like, this is all I got, man.
Moderation type deal, exactly. And the thrill of walking in with your fake ID with your boys and then getting bopped, you're like, fuck.
Or like the appeal of being like, when we were in high school and you used to go, like you worked at the country club and you'd get like the free alcohol after we'd all be at Jack's house. Yeah.
I do not condone taking alcohol from your place at work. Any high schoolers listening?
You were giving it.
Yeah.
You were giving it. But every high school has that cool like 30-year-old that works with like high school stuff. But so you would come back and like you'd have like literally a water bottle that was like moonshine or something like ridiculous, and then we'd just like all take turns drinking it and be like, this is awful.
I remember slugging Grey Goose and being able to like slug half a handle, and now I take 2 sips of Grey Goose and I'm like, I'm done.
I think it's just because you were more like, you're saying that you used to be able to drink it and not like die. And it's also probably because your tolerance is so high, because we used to just drink like it was going out of style. Now it's like, oh, okay, I don't really want to get that drunk.
That's basically because now there's no good payoff unless I know for a fact I'm going to be with my boys doing something cool. Otherwise, it's just another party. I have a girlfriend. Like,
even when you have a girlfriend, like getting blackout drunk isn't fun. Like, like even like getting super drunk with your significant other is Not even that fun. It's
I
like,
don't think so.
because usually it starts fights or something stupid happens when everyone's at blackout. It's like it used to be like
senior year of high school, maybe. Mike's Hards, shout out.
My point being that if you are not getting blackout, then most people would be like, well, what's the point of drinking? And as I got older, I'm like, I can have 2 beers, have a nice little buzz, and then be done.
Being in a perpetual state of being buzzed.
Well, that's like the goal of drinking is what everyone tries to do.
I mean, that's most the goal of getting high is. I mean, smoking weed is getting high. The cognitive effects, I guess, kind of opens you up, makes you a little more sociable. That's the fun part. But I've only blacked out. I think twice or 3 times. The first time was when I puked in Jack Haley's shoe in high school, sophomore year.
That was incredible.
Slugs cracking because I was trying to catch up because the party had already started. So I was like, fuck, I gotta catch up. Next thing you know, I'm throwing up my Chinese food. I wake up the next day. Jack's like, dude, did you throw up in my fucking shoe? I'm like, nah. And I still don't think I did to this day, but since I was black, I can't really tell. And then the other time was my 21st birthday where I got this massive scar on my face that I still have. A little funny story about that, since I guess we're going to be telling stories in a little bit. So I got hammered my 21st birthday. I went home in the Uber, which I guess I had thrown up in everywhere. Didn't know about that. Got home. My house at the time had been on the edge of, I guess, a forest. I guess you'd call it forest. And I heard coyotes, and I was like, dude, that's fucking sick. I'm going to go pet some coyotes. So I got back in the woods, I'm exploring, and I saw this, like, I guess knee-high fence type looking thing. It was barbed, and I was like, I had just seen Star Wars with my boys a couple of days ago, so I was like, dude, it'd be sick if I could do a front flip over this like a Jedi or some shit. And I tried, and I went headfirst into the barbed wire, and I was like, fuck. So then I walked back, and then I woke up with this huge gash in my face, and that's why I have this massive scar down my eye.
Yeah, dude, but it totally helps you get chicks down. That was the point.
Oh, that is actually true. Facial scars, I recommend giving yourself a facial scar because I've actually gotten laid specifically because of the scar. By the way, Noah tried to steal my girl that night. How'd that work out for you, buddy?
Don't get me started. That was the night, yeah, I left my place and I went to...
Oh, yeah, that was at your crib. No. I was slapping cheeks in your bed.
Yeah, well, because I went to Maddie's house and I was like, yeah, you can have my room, I'm going over here. Literally, because we came back, so this is where I lived in Boston. So we went out, we just moved up, so it was me, my roommate from West Virginia, and then Brock and our other friend, Noah. So we all went to the bars or whatever. I was seeing this girl at the time, and they ended up meeting these 2 girls. Brock ended up talking to this girl the whole time, and then Noah got very upset.
Let it be known that she was a babe.
10 out of 10. No,
not 10 out of 10, but she had very pretty eyes, which was, shout out if she ever listens to this, I guess. Yeah. She had nice eyes. But no, she was good looking. And my highlight of that night was she actually had come to the bar with a dude. And then
that kid was the biggest nerd I've ever seen in my life.
The best part was me and her were chilling. We went to go get pizza. And then she was like, oh, look what my friend just texted me. And the kid was like, yo, you should ditch those chads to come hang out with me. And I died.
The kid was wearing literally at the bar wearing the worst looking skater, trashy shirt I've ever seen. Backwards hat, greasy hair.
The fact that he called me a Chad, I was like, dude, I guess I am a Chad since I'm stealing your girl.
Oh, college. But yeah, then so whatever. And then we were out with my other roommate, Craig. He gets super drunk. He's the worst. But we love you, Craig. He'll be on the podcast one of these days to talk. But so he got super super blackout, and he left the bar before us. So we get back to our place after, and I'm getting ready to go over to this girl's house, and then I'm like, Brock, you can use my bed or whatever. And Noah's being all sad, and we get in there, and there's just a bunch of people. And then they're all French, so they're all they're all French. And Craig is going around telling us, he's like, dude, my grandma's French, and she's coming up tomorrow.
Novelle or whatever.
Yeah.
My name isn't even pronounced right. It's Love. Craig, shut the fuck up.
It's my grandma is so French. It's so fucking funny when she talks, bro. And we're like, dude, what is the funny part about that? But there are just 30 people in my apartment that I have no idea who they are. And then we were
right?
Yeah, he just was leaving the bar. He's like, everyone come back to my place. And they all followed. We actually got to my house, and there were people outside trying to get in. I was like, who the hell are you guys? And they're like, yo, there's a party going on. I was like, no, there's not. And they're like, a apartment too? I was like, yes, but there's no party. And then this guy comes out, opens the door for them. And I'm like, he's like, oh, who are you guys? I was like, I live here. We walk upstairs, and I was like, all right, I'm leaving. See ya.
Can't even deal with that.
Yeah.
I guess that was that was one of the highlights. Okay, so back to UMass real quick. I have another story.
Oh, but speaking of blacking out, because I've only really blacked out, I'd say twice. But can we talk about the concept of blacking out as well? How your body is able to do shit like that's like
I think it's because
crazy to me. Like,
scientifically, this is not Jamie. Pull that up.
Yeah.
But I think I read an article somewhere or stumbled upon an article where it said that you don't lose memories when you're blackout. The problem is you actually just don't form memories when you reach that threshold. So it's not like you remember it and then you forget it. It's you just don't even form the memories to begin with when you're blacked out. And also interesting thing, I don't think it's necessarily blacking out, but I think I read somewhere where they said that if you really want to remember something, like for example a test, you study for the test, then drink alcohol and get like, I guess I'll use the term blackout, because since you don't form new memories, those are the
last things you remember,
and those are solidified better. I don't know how that holds, but
that goes back to the that I did at UMass when I came to visit was for the Halloween party, not the Halloween, the Christmas party at your place.
That was a mess. That was a mess.
So like that night, I started drinking Four Loko. Shout out to Four Loko. So I had 2 Four Lokos, and I was feeling fine, and so the party's getting good, like about to start. We're just pre-gaming. Yeah, and then so I go downstairs and I like want to DJ, so I hook up my phone to the aux, and it's on top of the dresser. So you guys have a basement, and you have the washer and dryer. So you have the washer and dryer. So I get on top of the washer and dryer, like just sitting there changing the music. That was the last thing I remember. Apparently, I was told that
we walked downstairs. Everyone at this point, everyone had gone home. And you can fill in the details if you heard. But the music's blasting, and this man's is downstairs by himself, slumped right next to the speakers. Like, the speakers are extremely loud, and this man is just oblivious to it, just slumped.
And then, no, I thought, so then, like, that was the end of the party? No, but what about all the times where then, like, because Haley and Tony came, and they had, like, our friends, they came, and they were wearing
the boob shirts.
They were wearing like it was a Christmas party, so we were all wearing like ugly sweaters and stuff. And they came, they had like the top, when you put on a present, like the top, the little bows, and they were wearing those on their boobs. And I guess I just kept taking them off and running around the house with them. And then Haley came up to me. Apparently, at one point in the party, I was talking to some girl, like absolutely, I don't remember, but Haley comes up to the girl and goes, "Is he bothering you?"
Classic. I hope you never run for president because people are going to be like, sexual harassment right there.
I wasn't bothering her. I had great game.
I can attest.
Even Blackout.
You don't have good game.
I have great game. Great game.
How the tables have turned.
But so that was like the last thing I Blackout. And then I woke up the next day and I was sleeping outside. I don't know how I got outside, but I was sleeping on your porch outside. And they were like, "Well, you passed out on the couch downstairs. We put a blanket on you." And then I came up and they were like, "Yeah, we don't know what happened." I was like, "Why was I outside?" I don't know why I was outside.
I don't even remember. That night, was that a rough? I don't even remember that night. I think I was trying to do Oh, yeah, because someone took what is it called? A double-decker in my fucking toilet and threw my fucking... I forgot about that. That's why I was pissed, because someone threw my roommate's keys in the toilet and then took a double-decker in my fucking toilet, or they were trying to or something. And then I fucking was like, "Who the fuck threw my keys in the..." So I tried to square up. Oh, man. What are some other... Oh, fuck, dude. The other time... okay, that's what I was mentioning before. I was with Jack Haley at a party, and some kid came up to us and was like, "Rice and cheese," or "cheese and rice," which I guess is supposed to be like Jesus Christ or something like that. I don't even
Cheese and rice?
Cheese and rice. It was some stupid shit. So me and Jack were like, "Oh, really? What type of cheese?" And this kid was like, "Dude, like, you're thinking too much into it. Like, what the fuck?" And we're like, "No, dude, just tell us what type of cheese." And this man's was like, "Fuck you, bro, square up." It went literally from 0 to 100 so quick. No exaggeration. And then we're beefing with this kid. And then finally they leave. And then at the end of the night, we walk out. And this kid's waiting behind a car for us and comes up to Jack. He's like, "I have a gun in my backpack." Like, fuck you, you little white kid. Classic white school shooter. Jack was like...
Trenchcoat Mafia.
Jack was like, "Oh, really? You're going to tell me you have a gun in your backpack? Do it, pussy."
That reminds me of another time when we were up at the frat house. And so where our frat house is in New Hampshire, it's in Manch Vegas, as they call it. It's kind of in the rough ghetto part. But it's cheap and it's great throwing parties because the cops could care less about like a bunch of white rich kids throwing parties when they got like people like shooting each other on the street. There's been like gunshots outside the house before. But anyway, it's, this white kid thinking he's all like gangsta is all like, hey, I sold like drugs on the street. Just thought I'd pop by. We're like, all right, whatever, man. Like, okay, thanks, Dave. Comes in, starts being an asshole to all the girls, and they're all like, hey, you gotta tell that kid to leave. So we tell the kid to leave, and he's like, bro, I'm packed, bro. And we're like,
do it, pussy. Like, you have...
Yeah, okay.
When kids do that.
And then we kick him out. Obviously, we're frat, so we got, like, all 30 of us deep.
Right.
Frat mentality, baby. Like, 1 on 30, that's the way we do it. And, but yeah, so he was with his buddy, and his other friend was like, dude, we don't mean any trouble, we're gonna leave. And the kid's like, yo, man, nah, dude, I got this. I'm loaded, bro. And then we're like, all right, buddy, show us your gun. And he's like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna pull. You're gonna shoot me too. We're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Moral of the story is, one of these times those people are gonna do something stupid, and I myself conceal carry. If someone, I mean, obviously, but someone's going to end up doing that, and they're going to end up getting actually shot by someone who's justified in doing that. You don't go around flexing that you have a gun.
Never.
Without the expectation of, oh shit, this person might actually legally be within their legal rights.
If you pull a gun, and if someone pulls a gun on you, you're legally able to.
And it gets tough.
Stand my ground.
Right. I don't know the castle law. I got to look more into that. Stand my ground laws in Massachusetts are a little bit more strict, where they have to be like a direct threat. But, in Texas, you can shoot someone for just being on your property. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can... Campus carry is a thing at Texas A&M where you can...
So is in Arkansas. I remember when I moved out. That's another big thing. You go from the East Coast. It's like
very liberal,
and then you go down south and they're like
very conservative.
My roommate had a gun. He showed me his gun and I was like, sweet.
Right. Yeah. It's a different atmosphere though, where I wouldn't trust some place like UMass Amherst to
not at all,
because no one knows how to handle guns. It's not a gun culture, where in Texas and the South it's embedded within the culture, so they're a lot more responsible.
It's just like how in other countries you can drink at a younger age,
right.
So they know how to handle booze, whereas here we're just a bunch of idiots. We're like, oh wait, I gotta be 21 to handle booze. That means when I drink booze I gotta be blackout all the time.
That has to do with, I think the 21 age limit was, I think it's scientifically backed, where I guess that's where
something about your brain is
mostly your frontal cortex or something is developed more, and alcohol tends to impair the development of it at a younger age. But these kids aren't getting blackout on the weekend. They're having wine with their parents or a beer out to eat with their family or something. They're not getting blackout. So I guess that's maybe where the nuance is and the just cultural difference. I think... I guess the only other story that comes off the top of my head, I mean, I have plenty of other stories, but they're a little bit more inside joke type things, is we had a darty at my house. This isn't more a story. This is me just kind of complaining, I guess. And we're outside. It's a darty outside my house. Some girl decides to go inside my house, walk to my room, lay on my bed, and just yak all over my bed. I walk in and I'm like, what the fuck? You were outside 2 seconds ago. You couldn't yak in the grass. Instead, you decided to yak on my bed.
Was she hot?
No, she's not hot at all. I hate her.
But if she was hot, you probably would have been...
No, I would still hate her.
You still hate her?
Yes.
But I feel like that had something to do with your hatred. But yeah,
because she was an average-looking girl, and it's just like...
It was ridiculous that she then decided...
It's my bed. I have to sleep on that. I don't want it smelling like acid in someone's stomach and fried chicken.
They're going to be throw up on the bed. It should be my throw up on my bed.
Right. And even then, I had a bathroom in my room. She could have walked literally 2 feet to the right and made it to the bathroom.
She was like, it's like, when you start darting, bro, it gets hot out. You get you drink a beer, you get super tired, and you're just like, man, I really want to go lie down. And you're like,
so here's some advice for you party goers. Don't pretend you have a gun. Don't throw up in people's bed. Hold your alcohol. And also, it's very fucking annoying when people are those drunks where you actually bump into them in the party and they're like, oh, dude, you're trying to square up? Like, bro, you serious? It's a fucking party with shitloads of people, and you're going to complain that I bumped into you? This reminds me of the time in high school. Fuck this kid. I hope he hears it. Fucking twink. Fucking yuppie. I don't even know. There's Soy Boy. That's where we're bringing back. Soy Boy. I actually bumped into his girlfriend at a party that was completely packed. It was like a can of sardines. And he was like, are you going to apologize to my girlfriend? I was like, yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to hit you. He was like, that's not good enough. You apologize for hitting her. I was like, yeah, bro, relax. It was just fucking annoying. Like, know where you're at. It's not a douchebag.
No, dude, people need to stop trying to fight people, right? So this freaking Chad the other day, this Soy Boy, I'm at the bar with my roommate who has a torn ACL, his friend, and our friend Kate. So we're at the bar. I go to get pictures for the table. I come back, place them down, and then there's these two dudes sitting in our chairs. And Eric is at the bathroom at this point. So Kate's talking to these guys, and they're like, blah, 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 my name's freaking Chad, and I'm Brad. And then, so Eric starts coming back.
We're in the Patagonia vest.
Exactly.
Finance, Heisenberg. Fuck
These exactly what those dudes were. And then so Eric comes back, and Kate's like, oh, our friend with the torn ACL's coming back. Can you please get up? Well, okay, she doesn't say please. She's like, hey, can you get up? And the kid's like, no, I'm all set. And she's like, well, that's my fucking friend. He has a torn ACL, so how about you fucking get up? And this fucking Chad over here goes, hey, how about you fucking don't swear at my friend? How about you just ask politely? And
like, dude,
and then
is your ego that fragile where you're getting soft about that? Like,
well, it wasn't the kid. It was the friend. It wasn't the kid.
Even so, is your ego that fragile?
So kid's totally a Chad. But he. So then I get up, and his other friend takes, like, we had the plastic cups for the pitcher. Kid throws those cups in the pitcher. I'm like, nice. Then I get up to kid. I'm like, oh man, we don't want any problems. Like, my friend, she really apologizes for swearing at you. But how about if you are upset with my friend for apologizing?
Well, for swearing, yeah, right.
For swearing. How about you also don't swear in response? The kid looks at me and goes, huh. Dude, that's a really good point. Like, what are you, like, an English major? You want to be like a lawyer or something? I go, no, dude, thanks, buddy. I was like, man, I remember being really cool in high school too. I mean, in high school. I remember being really cool in college too, thinking I was tough. So I was like, how about you and your friend go to that corner, talk about how you guys were so tough, how you totally would have beat us up, and get the fuck out of here. And then the kid walks away. He's like, yeah, dude, how about you fucking have fun with your ugly bitch friend? Like what? One dude, you were just there trying to talk to my friend. So yeah, right. So I'm glad you have that. You have low confidence if you think my friend's ugly. Two, I then say, hey buddy, how about you come back here and say that to my fucking face? And you never disrespect a woman ever again. And he fucking comes over and, like, at this point, the kid didn't even seem drunk. So in your mind, if you can disrespect a girl and then, like, come back and be like, the fact, again, I will always, if someone's gonna, like, call me out, I will always say, hey man, come back and say it to my face. I hate when people. So then the kid comes back. I'm getting ready to go. The bar staff hears it. Obviously, they heard what the kid was being asked. So they come over to me like, no man, like, whatever. And then they're like, yeah, but you guys go over there. And then they're like, yeah, that kid's totally a freaking loser. And it's like, but Pinky promised me you're not gonna go fight those kids. And I was like, I will not. But just that idea that, like, kids think that they're so tough.
And it's just it's a bar, and why, dude? His ego must have been fragile, low self-esteem. I don't even know what it is. Maybe he was just an asshole. But it's
clearly an asshole.
It's so annoying when, in times like that, like, you try to keep a cool head, like, dude, yeah, I'm sorry that my friend, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, I understand. And then they keep coming like, okay, dude, I'm about to turn off the nice guy. I can beat the shit out of you. Like, these are the type of kids that, they'll talk about going to the gym, and you see them at the gym benching like 105, and which that sounds like me being a hardo, but that's the image they have where they're tough as shit. Like, oh man, I'm an Eisner, I make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck you, dude.
Dude, the idea that, like, oh man, dude, I'm totally, like, I'm Chad, bro. Dude, my Patagonia, my Vineyard Vine sweatshirt is sweet, and I got this nice suit that I'm gonna wear. Obviously, that I was a business student. I was in fraternity.
Yeah, I mean,
I love my frat bros. I love my boys, but at the same point, like, I also understand their personality behind these people, and it's just like they got no substance, man. They got no substance.
Well, yeah, a lot of these people are douchebags, and a lot of these people. This is very broad generalization. I got to give credit for credit's due. A lot of these people are, like, sick at what they do. Like, most of my friends are finance kids, and they have unreal jobs with J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi. Those are hard jobs to get. They're outstanding students, great people. But it seems like it's saturated with. It's the same idea with the engineering students. There is a stereotype for a reason where you have comp sci kids being fucking losers, and with no offense, because I'm an electrical engineer and I do a lot of coding, so I guess I fall in that category. But a lot of these kids don't have any social skills.
Well, that's the crazy part about it, right? That was like the biggest jump for me, being a business student. So being, like, in a fraternity to going being a theater major, being around these kids, because, like, that I never wanted to do, like, theater and stuff in high school, because, like, in high school they're the theater people, and you're like, in high school it's different because they carry themselves like they're really cool, and it's just like,
I think it's like 21 Jump Street, the 21 Jump Street, where it's kind of the normal stereotype that you see in movies, where the jocks are the cool and the, hey nerd, don't you go be Peter Pan again. And then 22 Jump Street, it's the theater kids that are the fucking cool kids. That's kind of what it was like at our high school. I think our high school is a little different because I think everyone was pretty close.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I guess that's how. I don't know.
I know, but yeah, but the difference between like kids that want to wear vineyard vines and we want to darty and you want to bang as many chicks as you can to going to like the theater people and they're like have their crazy colored hair and they're like talking about their feelings. It's a huge jump and it's just.
It's weird.
It's tough, especially as someone that's like been part of both sides. They're on very like best compliment I ever got. No offense to theater people, is when I'd be like, "Oh, I'm a theater major," and people would be like, they'd be like, "This kid must be fucking weird then because he's a theater major."
Right.
But they're like, "Oh, what do you mean?" It's like, it's one of those things where there is general stereotypes, but the problem is like everyone kind of fits their stereotype. Like it's not like you're gonna have like
which is unfortunate. It's not even. It's not
unfortunate. It just their personality
honestly
fits these types of things.
I think it's like that's. Their personality is what it is, so because their personality is what it is, they were maybe better at that specific major that fits into it.
Exactly.
It's the same thing when I walked into my Japanese class and you have all these fucking weebs. Shout out to the weebs. And that's how I kind of met my girlfriend too, and her friends. She was like, yeah, you came in, like, this sounds really weird, but this is what she said to me. Really good posture, you were in shape, and you did not look like a Japanese kid. It's because they were used to the kids like, hey, did you see that hentai episode yesterday? That was sick. Oh, Boku no Hero Academia.
Well, that's the move. That's like when you get into like the theater thing, you're like, yeah, I'm fraternity. Like, I totally like in super good shape or whatever. Like, what, dude? You like, no, that was the thing too. Like when I went to Arkansas and I was like, yo, so like you guys like want to party or like drink? They're like, I actually don't want to do that.
Right.
And like, that's the thing. Like now I'm like, I understand that mindset, but at the same point, it's like, you're in college, man. You got to like.
Right. No, I agree. And
but theater kids, they do like all the drugs. It is like that. Their parties are like wild,
like acid stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is a stereotype. Well, there are stereotypes and they exist for a reason. And I kind of feel bad because I definitely fit a certain stereotype. I just don't see it because I'm me, so I like to think that I'm fucking hot shit.
Damn right, baby. Hot shit.
But I have good game, guys. And I'm not roasting everyone because that's not necessarily a bad thing that they have colored hair for the theater kids or the comp sci kids. I mean, I think not having social skills.
Like I should probably, we're all chumps deep down. I don't know. But anyway, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I think now, especially in that context, you meant it as like chump.
Yeah,
but I guess in the political climate, you can't say that.
Especially I feel like because like the theater kids are all the theater kids, this like philosophy kids.
I think that
they're all the social justice war. Yeah, all the liberal arts. Like, yo, man, like can't be using these words.
I don't know, because it's the same thing with engineering on the other end, where engineering tends to be a little bit more conservative. And I don't know if that happens because of I don't know why the reason is, but maybe it's because it has to do with more foreign kids, and foreign kids typically tend to be a little bit, not necessarily conservative within the realm of United States politics, but their views tend to align with more conservative.
Well, exactly. Well, I'm in this right now. This awesome class is called art management, and it's entrepreneurship. So it's pretty much about being like, it's for people that are in an arts field, whether it be acting, musician, some sort of form of the arts, and trying to like make that your career, and like being an entrepreneur about like creating a podcast or creating a business. But we were talking about what the characteristics of an artist are, and I was like, well, they're creative and they're open-minded. And open-minded meaning like theater people that are creative, we just like think differently because you need like to come up with. You have to be more open to like. It's like I'm very open to a bunch of different ideas, whereas most people are very strict in what they
very
believe.
Linear thinking. Yeah. No, that makes sense, and I think that's what makes a good, for example, in your case, a theater student. I think maybe that's where the difference is. A lot of these theater kids, these comp sci kids that I end up respecting are the kids who are hella good at what they do. They're just good people on the hand, but they're good at what they do and they're passionate about it. Where a lot of these other kids that I fucking beef with, I remember one kid just roasting the teacher because the teacher had taught something differently or made a mistake or something, a normal human thing. This kid was like, actually, you have to do this. And I was like, God, you're such a fucking loser. Like, get out of my, like, fuck you comp sci geek.
No, that's the thing too. It's like, again, the stereotypes are the people that suck, but they're a great
right.
Like they're incredible business students that are awesome.
And like we were talking about, those Chads are fucking losers.
Like all the Chads and all the Brads and all the freaking all the soy boys that are out there being soy boys in their like liberal art world. It's just like, hey, like I like to see myself like I can fit with all those individuals, like in business, the Chads and the Brads. I was 30 Rack Jack, and then I was freaking doing theater-y stuff.
Right.
And
I think it's the people. I respect the people who are good people, and that doesn't.
I respect you if you're yourself, and most of those kids I feel like aren't. The reason that they're such a Chad, they're such a like most theater kids and like those people, they're trying to fit this. I always like to try to say they're trying to fit this stereotype.
Right, that makes sense.
It's like I'm a lot of the problem that I have with a lot of theater people at schools where you don't have to audition for stuff. So say you go to like one of those like giant conservatories, you have to get in. So those kids are a lot different. But people that go to schools where you just can do theater, it's like, well, I did theater in high school, and like it's like, oh, I don't fit into what people think is cool, so I'm just gonna try and find a group that like I can be weird,
which is fine to an extent, but there's all those people who like watch the movies with that quirky art girl who like the jock falls in love with, and then they go out by the quirky art girl and they're like, I'm basically that girl, and you're like, do you even fucking like what you wear? Or are you just doing it to fit the stereotype? Like, just be yourself.
Well, that's the same thing with business kids, right? It's like, dude, I'm a business student because I want to make a freaking Wolf of Wall Street money, bro. Jordan Belfort, I've been counting dirty money. Call me Jordan Belfort, dude. Me and Ben Frank, got to take him home from the bank.
Bracket.
Yeah, I'm in my tax bracket, dude. I got my accountant, dude. He's totally gonna put my money in like an overseas account. I don't even have to pay taxes.
Panama Papers, look it up.
Yeah, but exactly. It's like they're fitting the stereotype too. It's like, well, I played sports. I'm super Brad, super Chad, super
and
cool.
everyone fits a certain stereotype. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
But some of these people, I don't know. Maybe the moral of the story is some people just fucking suck, and maybe I'm one of those people.
Maybe we suck.
Maybe we suck. Maybe we're just
like I've been to 4 schools. It's like I keep leaving because everyone hates me, not because I like to just try and different things. But
I think what makes someone a Chad is that's our image. And Chad is such a funny thing. It's called.
You know what the best part about that is? In high school, I was like, I want to make this character for like he's be like a super frat star, and it was like a movie idea I had. I was talking to my friends, and like the character's name was. I was like, Chad Wolf. That's such a sick name. Chad Wolf. And then like, Chad Wolf, bro. It's like, he's the man. And he's best friend with the Iceman. And the Iceman was going to be Chuck Liddell. Because Chuck Liddell's nickname is the Iceman. And he had like, he's like, bro nicknames for his friends. And he's going to start this fraternity at this small like liberal arts school. And like, make it cool. But the idea that like now Brad and Chad is just like this generic, like, I'm Brad, I'm a Chad, whatever.
I think crazy. Brad and Chad has kind of evolved into just describing just a normal stereotypical white guy you see with the Sperry colored shorts.
And like the thing is, like I like that outfit. Like I think that looks good sometimes. Like I hate that. I have that stuff.
It's uncomfortable.
What do you mean it's uncomfortable?
I just think it's uncomfortable. Like you see what I'm wearing now. I'm the kid who wears sweatpants and sweatshirts and gym shirts.
It's like I like to do that too. It's people like the problem with those kids is they're like I need to look good every time. Right. Even when I'm looking down, I need to still be wearing like $500 sweatpants. It's like okay, like I like to dress up when I go out. I like to be chilling when I'm chilling. But
I think what makes a real, like I said, Chad is you can have a calm side kid who's a Chad. You can have it's someone who is good at what they do and confident. It's what we talked about earlier, just confident with themselves and they love who they are. That's a Chad because then they just like present themselves in a normal way. And
wait, a Chad? You're saying a Chad is someone that
to me, a Chad is it doesn't have to be people think of a Chad like, oh, that kid lifts, he's good, he's a jock. To me, it's just like
that's what they think. I thought people thought of Chads and Brads as like.
Well, I think it, like I said, it's evolved into the stereotypical white kid who lifts and shit like that.
It's not a kid that lifts. The Chad, it's like an insult. It's like, yo, it's like.
No, I don't think a Chad's an insult. Like,
if someone calls you like, if you're being a Brad or a Chad, it's like, yo, man, you freaking are out here like wearing your Sperry's and you don't lift, but you've got your. You're a frat, bro. You're just
when I positively refer to someone as I never really refer to them.
You can't if you don't. I would never refer to someone positively as being.
I would because at that point I think they're just like fucking cool.
If they're cool, I'd be like, yo, that's my boy.
Fucking.
What's his name?
I would do it jokingly if I was talking about my boy, like, and he was like, oh, Brock, and then I'd be like, that guy's a fucking Chad, like, but not. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Just kind of jokingly, and by that I would just mean like he's cool, he's confident in himself, and he just lives life. He doesn't impose onto others. I guess that's kind of my.
I think you just need to change it to that dude's totally a jack. That guy's totally a jack, dude.
That kid's totally a Brock.
Yeah, a freaking loser, dude. But I think you should change up your word for that. But that was like the funniest thing too is I had when I was a theater student. At Arkansas, we had to write a play, and
you want to hit this jewel?
Yeah, dude, always hit the jewels. The jewel game has literally revolutionized. Like The problem is with Juuls, though. We'll go off track for a second. It's like my roommate smokes cigarettes, but he doesn't Juul. But obviously, I feel like everyone in college Juuls now. It's just like having a Juul. Most people don't have Juuls, and it's like you got to find your friends that do have Juuls.
Right.
It's like I was Juuling for a bit, and then I was like, I got to stop this.
I definitely should. Well, I didn't even Juul until I just bought this, I think, a week ago.
Why did you buy it? Dude, that's like the worst thing you do.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm fucking cool now. I'm a Chad, basically.
Totally a Brock now, dude. Got my Juul. Dude, no, it's sick when chicks are like, yo, let me hit that Juul. You're like,
whoa.
Dang, girl, she wants a Juul.
My lips were on this Juul. Her lips were on that Juul.
Practically just
I think I just kissed that girl. See you later, virgins. I'm out of here.
But yeah,
shout out to Ryan Hanley, the virgin.
That kid's great kid. But point being, so yeah, we had to write this play. So I wrote this. It was a story about how I met your brother, and it was about this bartender who's working at the bar. His ex-girlfriend comes in, and she's all like, "I can't believe you started seeing someone already." Stacy told me whatever happened, and she was
equivalent of Chad, by the way,
pretty much. And then she was the bartender was like, "Well, sometimes I feel like you need to move on to see if you really want to be with someone." And she's like, "Why would you?" But that was so soon. He's like, "I didn't even cheat on you. I mean, I didn't even start seeing someone else." And she's like, "Really?" He's like, "Well, clearly, if I did or I didn't, you'd still be a crazy bitch. So get out of here." So then she goes to the bar, and then my man's Brad and Chad walk in, and they like start broing it up, doing the frat handshakes, doing all like whatever, wearing their freaking sweet gear. And then Brad's like, "Yo, man, what we're gonna do? We're gonna run this play called Tristan Thompson. It's like I'm gonna go over to that girl at the bar. That would be now Stacy, and." He's like, all right, I'm going to get with her a bunch of times, and then I'm going to cheat on her. And then you, Chad, can then go get with her because she'll want to sleep with you to get back at me. But I really don't care. And Chad's like, yeah, bro, that's sick. And then, so then that craziness ensues. And then at the end, it's like Stacy goes up to the bartender and it's like, oh man, like I forgot being single. The dudes are kind of the worst, especially the Brads and Chads in the world. He's like, yeah, I heard them talking. I feel bad for you. It's like, and then they end up leaving. And then Brad and Chad are over there. Chad's like, dude, I can't believe you thought that would actually work, man. It's so stupid. He's like, hey man, it's all right. And they start singing. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish. And then they sing God's Plan. He's like, imagine if I never met the broskies, lights turn off, end of the show. But it was like, I wrote that and like everyone was like, that's hilarious. And it's crazy because when I was writing it, like, I don't know, I just thought it would be funny. But then people were like, girls in the class were like, that is a perfect example of a stereotype of how guys act now in this world. It's like they started like analyzing, like going deep with it. It's like these characters are so like, there's so much more to this. It's like you're really saying this is America and America's the bartender. And I was like, what is going on? No. It's like I wanted to write a story about some Brads and Chads, and I thought God's Plan, ending the play with God's Plan would be hilarious.
It's like that episode of South Park where they like Broadway bro down, yeah. Where like, they take their girl to the play to get blowjobs with the subliminal message.
Yeah. Blowjobs. It's like blowjobs. God's Plan. It's a lot of bad blowjobs that they wish in and they wish and they wish. Oh, it's like when the kid was in with the neighbors with freaking ash juice, and he's like a pledge, and he's like talking to them, and they're like, all right, we need like record so we can like file with the school that they're hazing. He's like, I've been promised infinite blowjobs. And they're like, he's like, I'll do it for like $500. And I feel like that's very much the culture now, though. It's like, dude, you're my boy. I'd never bang your girl. And then it's like, I totally bang your girl. It's like you didn't know about it. Right. Even if you didn't know about it. Except your boys, but no one's really your boys.
Do you think the culture nowadays is, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it's always been like this and now I'm just like living the time, so this is what I see. But do you think the culture now has become a little bit more sexualized and more, in my opinion, it's more degenerate, but once again, it's my opinion. But maybe a hookup culture where I guess relationships have become less prevalent, less important, and have taken a backseat to the quick, I want to say hedonistic, but quick nut game, you know?
Well, yeah, it's all about, it goes back to, we're not about getting relationships, it's about the number, bro.
Okay, why? Why do you think that is?
Well, just because the idea of relationships based on everything that we see in the media, like being like all the posts, all, like the songs, every song is about like, yo man, just fucked your girl on the low and she's still a bitch though. It's like, right. It's like girls are stupid.
It is pretty demeaning.
Girls are told that you're such a fucking hoe. I love it. It's like that's a song.
It's reinforcing the idea.
It's reinforcing that girls are hoes, and I like when girls are hoes. And then and it also goes back to this idea, I think, of like tricking people into thinking like like it's empowering. If you're because one of the big things with girls and boys, it's always like guys can sleep with as many people as they want, and they're players. A girl does it, then it's like
it's definitely. I think it's double-edged sword. Or so maybe I'll get rashed for this by female viewers, but in the sense that this third wave feminism preaches for not expressing like free body, your choice, which I totally agree with to some extent. For the most part, like everyone has the choice.
It's your body,
exactly. You can really, at the end of the day, do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't affect me, so why would I care?
Well, it could affect you. That's the problem.
But I think, first of all, the original problem was, since men are I don't want to sound like I'm advocating for the idea of a patriarchy, but I guess maybe in some sense, but men were the driving force behind the idea of like beauty magazines where, hey, look at this hot babe, she's skinny, she has this ideal body type, you have to be like
it's that. The idea that the problem with that is, again, you literally can look at the history of body types and what is perceived as attractive. That has changed based on the way the media portrays it.
It's same thing in the movie. And it's same thing with guys, too. It's like, I don't really give a shit if a dude, like Jacob from Twilight takes off his shirt every fucking 20 minutes.
But then it's like, so all the girls are like, I want a guy that has abs. And then you get abs, and then they're like, no, dude, we want the dad bods.
Right.
I don't know how,
it changes. I think that's just...
But it's like Marilyn Manson, she was like it's like, you gotta be a size 0, but she was like a size 6. And then it's like the idea of seeking like validation from the media, from like, I am the correct type. My mom was telling me like, so like my mom in high school, she was saying that like everyone in high school, like the ideal image of like back in the 90s was like the super like that's where like anorexic people were like, that was the problem, because like all the like popular girls in all the movies and stuff were like really super skinny. And now it's like everyone's like the Kim Kardashian,
right, the like slim thick or whatever. And I think that's the problem. No, like I said, to give, I don't know if it's credit where credit's due, but to back up the idea of like where feminism is right, where a lot of that is driven by male ideology, where me personally, I don't give a shit what you look like. If I like you, I like you, you know what I mean? It's obviously I have preferences where I'd like someone who's fit, but that's a personal preference, and you fall in love with who you fall in love with.
Again, love is blind.
Exactly. I think the biggest problem, or the biggest facilitator, maybe catalyst, this atmosphere is exactly what you said. The media, the entertainment. People are exposed on a day-to-day basis on movies, YouTube videos, social media of these beautiful women. Physically beautiful, physically appealing, because beauty in some sense is objective. There is a standard of beauty. These skinny girls, whatever. But a lot of people have to realize, and this goes for guys too, for these good-looking guys, actors, that's 1% of the people, and they're at the position they are because they're goddamn handsome, goddamn sexy, for the most part.
But no, but that's like, again, you can, like Chris Pratt is now like, like he's like the guy, but he used to be, fat. You can change your personality, like you can change your body, you can get more physically fit, you can get more physically attractive. It's like there is, so like scientifically it's like, as a man symmetry. You want the symmetry, like the perfect, you want the strong jaw and stuff. So it's like I can see someone, and I can see a girl, like I don't find Beyonce attractive, but she's beautiful. She's like beautiful. I will say she is attractive, but I'm not attracted to her.
Right. No, that's a good point, because there's tons of girls where I'll be like, listen, objectively, she's a good-looking girl, but
not
there's
my
just
cup of tea.
Something that I'm just like, no, I don't like that. And I think a lot of people, even if you are physically unattractive or you think you are, you have to realize that there is way more. You can't it's the same thing what we talked about. You can't compare yourself to other people. And I think that's with the idea of abundance, and what I mean by that is social media. Everyone's on social media. You see how other people are living. You are always looking at someone and be like, damn, that's cool. You're always thinking to yourself, man, there's something better. The grass is always greener. And I think that's a problem with social media, and I think that's why I don't know if I was reading an article, or I don't know what I was reading. Maybe I just came up with this on my own, but I think the reason why, I think divorce rates, they've been dropping in the most recent years.
But we're not getting as married as
right,
much.
So maybe that's...
Well, that's the idea. So I was actually doing some research into that, and it turns out that like early in the 60s and the 70s, like a lot of the older generations will talk about how everyone hated the 70s. They say, like a lot of the old people will say that we are in the 70s now, meaning that right now everyone's about like sex and drugs.
Right, it's progressive. Well, it's progressive. I'm labeling it as progressive, but progressive in the sense where it's in the same idea where 70s was all about the hippies.
So it's like be yourself, just express, do whatever you want,
which is good. Which is good. And
no, the message in itself as like, be kind and caring to all and like expressive, but the message being that like you should be doing drugs to get that, or you should like having sex with everybody, and there's no like pretty much they were saying that relationships, like marriage, like if you're married you're stupid because like how can you just love one singular person forever, kind of the idea. It's like this, like, but anyway, so come in the 60s and 70s is when they started really making films that really kind of like idealized the idea of the, hey, monogamy stupid and you should just be with whoever you want. It had like everyone was cheating on their spouse, everyone was doing this stuff.
That's so.
But then it's crazy to think, and that goes back to how the media. I always like to use the Elvis Presley. So back in whenever Elvis Presley was, it like the 60s or the 50s, whatever. It's about the 70s. So the vaccines, it's like 0.6% of all Americans were getting vaccines. Elvis Presley went on TV and got a vaccine live on national TV, and that skyrocketed to 60%. And there was a girl that was like, she tweeted it was on Twitter, and she was like, yeah, that's incredible. See all the power that celebrities have? And you're like, no, that's not good. That shows you, right? The media
how malleable people are.
Literally affects everything you do.
Right.
So when you see the media being married is stupid and cheat on your wife and do all this stuff, and it's like,
and I do think this is more me sound like get your tinfoil hats ready. There's definitely an agenda. Okay, like I said, tinfoil hats, please. There's definitely an agenda to push, I think, because people nowadays think that if you're a stay-home mom, if you aren't independent woman in the sense that you don't have a job, which is fine if you want to, but I know that a lot of people look down on, not necessarily people, but look down on the idea of being a stay-home mom and fitting that traditional role as if it's a bad thing. And it's pushed a lot, and I think in the media that, oh, if you're stay-home mom or you fit in the traditional roles, you're not fulfilling your potential as a woman. Well, like, that's so stupid. Do what you want to do. If it makes you happy, do it. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes back to, it just goes back to like kind of the psychological thing, whereas like as a woman, so men, we can pretty much have kids and whatever until we're like, we can literally be 90. Right, we can have a kid. So, but like women, they have a small window, and men in power, women find more attractive. But women in power, we could like.
I think honestly, it's probably. My mom is a very strong, like, independent woman, and a lot of she raised me. I want to say right. She talks about how, and maybe it's because I'm a man that I don't necessarily see this as much, and that is definitely why. But she talks about how she can say something. She's most of the time, my mom. She's a very gung ho type of girl.
Yeah.
She's always in position.
Strong in her belief. She likes to be a leader.
She's a lead. She is a leader. She's president of whatever school committee, that shit. And she talks about how she'll say something and the guys will not like being told what to do by a woman. And that's true. And I can definitely see where if it was a man in that position, like my dad's never said that. My dad's had manager positions where he doesn't have that problem as much. Obviously, you get those dudes who are like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
And I think, so in that sense, yeah.
No, well, I like to talk about this part just because my mom, she's like a stay-at-home mom now. And she's worked with lawyers. She's like an incredible worker, but she just doesn't like to work sometimes. So she's just like, and my stepdad makes like enough money to support the whole family. But she was always like, I don't like the idea that I can't be in like, why can't I as a woman be able to like do the job? I'm like, but you don't even like doing the job.
Right.
And it's like people want the ability to do something even if they just don't like it.
I think it's been pounded in the head that maybe you're somewhat less of a person if you stay home, which isn't true. Like, raising a child is so fucking hard, dude. Like,
well, that goes back again. So like the idea that women, so like they can't, after women as
I think it's like 40 years old.
Yeah, 40. Like, well, they go to menopause and they can't have babies, and so
that's more around.
So it's like, and like to be really successful, to be the top of an industry, to be like a leader, you literally need to put 70 hours a week or 80 hours.
You're sacrificing that maternity, the idea of being a mother.
And then so that's what happens. So most women, they get like they're like, I want to be strong and independent, and then they get to like 28 and they're like, especially the two in society, right? So like you can be striving really hard, and what happens later in life, like if you're kind of a shitbag when you're like 20 and then you get to 30 and all your friends are like graduating from college and you're staying at home, not doing anything, working whatever job, just smoking, doing whatever, and then like your friends start getting married, they start having kids, and you're just like, you start to feel really bad about yourself because like everyone else's life's like they're becoming like having families and being adults, and they can't go out as much.
That is a biological
it's like
imperative. Like you are.
That's the point of
like want to. Like, biologically speaking, obviously, I take the position of not trying to reduce everything to biologics, but biologically speaking, women have that desire to bear children. And, maybe some people don't agree with that idea, but really find a woman so there are some women who don't want kids and they're happy with that, but there are also a lot of women who, by the age of 40, they haven't found a spouse and they want kids and they're missing that part of their life. And some of that and I think that's important to bring up, I guess. Like I said, this is all from a man's perspective, so give her.
But we have in some of the upcoming episodes, we're gonna have some girls on, and I'm gonna talk to them about this stuff, and I want to talk to them just about the idea too, like being a girl in college, the struggles of like you're a girl and like. In college, you get to girls in college get to go to all the parties. They get invited to parties, whereas dudes in college, unless you're part of something, it's tough. Can't walk into a party with 8 dudes. You can walk into a party with 8 chicks, and everyone thinks you're invited 8 girls to a party with men.
Well, I think that's because dudes are fucking horny and are like.
Oh, exactly. But then, but the idea too, right? Just that being a girl, so you get invited everywhere, but then it's guys don't even respect you as much. They see you as an object, right?
Right.
But I don't like that. The problem is
I'm trying to find a boundary because there is a boundary because I think third wave, the modern SJW shaved head bullshit liberation front is fucking stupid. But at the same coin, you have to recognize that there are legitimate problems that feminism's great, especially in places like Iran, maybe not Iran. I'm going to speak geographically kind of out of my ass, but Iraq and Saudi Arabia, where women just got the ability to drive in Saudi Arabia. They have to wear burqas. All these things. Yeah. That's where feminism's great. Where a woman's getting raped and then gets charged and goes to jail for being raped. That is abhorrent. That is unacceptable, and that's where feminism is. That is where feminism needs to be, where it needs to take its roots.
But the problem is, it goes back to the idea, just women get paid less and less than men.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
But it goes back to
wage gap isn't real.
Yeah, it's not. It's just the idea, right? So girls are way more kind than guys, right? Girls will just kind of say yes to things.
Yeah, actually, that's
why. So it's okay, we're offering you this much money. They're gonna be no. Whereas a guy, as a man, will turn it down. We'll say, no, I want this much. I will argue. I will negotiate.
I think if you break it down into this, a lot of people might consider this pseudoscience, but it's the same idea of where you kind of break down your characteristics into agreeableness, open-mindedness, creativeness idea. Women statistically tend to be more agreeable. And if you want to be on the other hand, statistically, people who are less agreeable tend to do better and make more money. And that's the exact reason where men tend to be okay, I want a fucking raise, give me a fucking raise, versus where women will tend to be, okay.
Yeah. And men will leave jobs that they like if they get to a point where women are just okay, I'm happy.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with either side, I'd say. There's nothing wrong with just being if people need to stop being well, I should be getting paid this much. It's well, do you like your job? Are you happy? If you really want to get paid your due, you need to be your own boss.
Right.
At the end of the day is what it comes down to. But the idea that the thing about in California is that women's march they had, it wasn't diverse enough, so they canceled it. These are the people that are supposedly leading this movement.
And I think most rational people that I talk to, obviously you get a fucking bunch of whack jobs, especially at UMass, dude. I had someone complaining the other day that there's a singular term, Mr., and then you have Miss, Mrs., etc. And for some reason, I guess that's sexist. And that's the third wave feminism.
I don't like sexism.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Can you deal with things that are more important?
No.
And I guess something like the wage gap to some people is more important. Me personally, I don't think it exists. And I think it comes down to women tend to take lower paying jobs because the fields that they take tend to be less paying. Men take engineering jobs. The man to woman ratio in engineering is outrageous. It's 98% men.
But they did that in Nova Scotia or something. They made the gap. It's literally you get paid the same amount of your job, and it's the same employment same gender bias for engineers, and it's the same way as nurses. There were way more women to men in the nurse
It's the same thing with teaching. Teaching makes significantly less, but if you look at kindergarten teachers, the amount of women is ridiculous.
But it makes more sense though that a woman would be a great teacher, a great nurse, because it's you're parent, you're dealing with people, you're taking care of people. That's their job.
In terms of teaching, and they take more liberal arts jobs. Obviously, there's exceptions, like we've talked about, but it's because women tend to be not way smarter, but tend to be smarter in regards to language comprehension, language acquirement. It's in that
better,
realm.
Better at grammar, better at
They tend to be like I said, not way smarter, but smarter than men in that regards, where men maybe tend to be smarter in other regards. And the IQ distribution tends to be, I think, men on average, there's more men that, on average, are more men that have a higher IQ. But the women, the bell curve,
the gap
they
is
have
less.
higher. So you're going to have women who are smarter than men on average, but there are more men who are higher up. So that's where you see that there's a nuance there, that women are, there's just biological differences. And
we need to stop acting. That's the problem is I have this philosophy class about sexual topics. And so that being like the morals and like philosophy around such things as sexual harassment, rape, abortion, these things. But I just read a paper. It was about the idea of sexual harassment in the workplace, and it's called the reasonable woman standard, and how when you look at sexual harassment, you need to look at it from the idea that men and women are different. So the example they used is there was this guy, he was working at this place with this girl, and he would like try and like hit on her, but he didn't like talk to her, he would just like send her creepy letters and stuff. But he was far away, right? And then she ended up like filing like a restraining order, and then he ended up saying, hey, like it's not fair, they can't fire me for that. So he moved to another branch, and then he sent her this like 8-page like letter about how like they had such a strong connection from like a distance, and like being weird stuff, right? And then the idea was that she went to her boss or whatever, and he's like, well, I'd be flattered if a woman did that to me, right? So the idea that
different genders just perceive things differently.
Not even, it's a lot. It's kind of like how when a girl walks by herself at night, it's very scary. Like way more scary because the girls like are scared of like getting like sexually assaulted, right? And stuff. And like as a man, like
I don't care. I think that maybe comes down to, I mean, men just, like I said, biologically are just way stronger than women, and it would be. I can understand that. I hate when my girlfriend was talking about Boston and going to Boston, and I was like, make sure you go with people. Like, please go with people.
Yeah, exactly. It's very scary. Like,
it is scary.
Because guys, like, there are
creepy.
There's so many creepy dudes out there,
and a lot of dudes, even at the bars, are touchy. And there's a boundary where I kind of read something where. This was more of opinion by someone. Someone was telling me, and it was a good idea. I'm not necessarily subscribed to it yet, but it got me thinking. Where
subscribe to these get degrees though.
Yeah, where
rate 5 stars.
In school, you know how there's always that creepy kid, or you look back in school and you're like, fuck, dude, I was so cringy. I think sometimes you have to be creepy. Don't get that conflated with actual blatant sexual harassment in order to learn how to talk to women. There's been times where
you didn't learn what not to say.
Right. Maybe I pushed the boundaries a little too much, and then I obviously got appropriately reprimanded for it. Now I won't do that because you learn what's acceptable.
It's called learning the hard way.
Right. And that's more catered towards younger kids and people going through high school, not full grown adults.
It's kind of like how like the idea is like no means no, but then it's like no means no means yes. If a girl does not want to have sex with you, that means no. But like if you're like, there's
contextual things. No always means no, but see, I don't want to say but as if like, it's okay if she says no. It's never, if she says no and it's obvious that she doesn't, fuck you, dude, don't do that.
I think it's not even, it's just about having you need to learn social awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
It's social cues that many people, especially in today's society, I think that we are losing for 100%. People are becoming.
I don't know if we're losing social cues or it's just like, fuck it, dude. This girl wants my dick. I want to give it to her. Like, fuck you. And the same thing, I think some things are kind of becoming blurred. And there's some things I agree with in that regard, and some things I don't. With once again referring to like third wave feminism, I think the body positivity movement's fucking retarded, and I think supporting. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more harsh. In the other episode, I was like overweight. Supporting fat people in general as if it's normal is abhorrent because it's an unhealthy lifestyle.
No, it's about being, again, as I was trying to say, it's about being healthy. Like some people, like your natural body type is your natural body type, but it's about if you're healthy.
But there's no, dude.
There's no 300-pound that like
healthy people. You can't be fat and be healthy. And I'm sorry if you disagree with that, but that's just a fact of it is. It comes down to science. You eat a certain amount of calories, you burn a certain amount of calories. That's just how it is. You just have to find your maintenance amount of calories you burn in a day versus whatever. Body positivity movement should be for breast cancer survivors. They don't have, how they
Yeah, they have scars. They have scars on their
amputees, where you have these people that's out of control. They go through some traumatic event. You have to support them. Be like, listen, you're missing a part of your body, etc. You are no less than a human. That is what body positivity should be for. But it's been hijacked for women and men who are insecure about themselves and fail to recognize that. Hey, who like to hide behind it as justification for their shitty lifestyle.
Well, it's like people, but most people that are out of shape, they, it's not like they're going around, but it's the people that are out of shape and they're like, no, you can't be. Don't go up to a fat person and be like, you're so fat, you're disgusting.
That goes the golden rule. Don't be a fucking asshole.
But don't you can't feel bad for yourself. So like it's like the people that are overweight.
Don't tell me that because I go to the gym, I'm weird. Like fuck you, I'm healthy. I go to the gym.
It's literally 80% of losing weight. You don't need to work out. You just need to eat right.
It is honestly.
It's
like
all
I said,
diet.
Thermodynamics. It's not like you're creating energy out of nowhere. Burn the energy. You eat 3,000 calories. You want to eat 5 fucking huge meals a day. You just have to make sure you're burning that at the end of the day. That's why exercise goes hand in hand with losing weight, is because you're burning those extra calories. That's why if you eat 300 calories above your maintenance, you have to burn those 300 calories exercising, or else those 300 calories are being converted into whatever, fat, etc.
It's like, don't be drinking a bunch of alcohol and then being like, why am I gaining weight? Because I'm mixing my alcohol with all my chasers and my mixers that are literally like most of the bad calories people take in are literally from drinks. Like, it's crazy.
Sugar, yeah.
All the sugar.
Sugar. I mean, Coke has what, like 32 grams of sugar, which is a shit. I think one packet of sugar that you find in a restaurant is a gram or something, 2 grams. So you have to use that as a standard where you have a Coke. That means you're putting 16 or even 32, depending on how much an actual packet is. Yeah. Look it up, into a drink and then drinking that. That is disgusting. Don't get me wrong. I caught in that. But the difference between me and someone who's 300 pounds overweight is I'm going to the gym and I'm busting my balls off because I want to maintain a healthy, physique. And that goes hand in hand. I'm juuling right now. That's fucking unhealthy. But the difference is I'm not going around to people who aren't juuling and being like, what up, loser? Or pretending that juuling is healthy. I know it's not healthy. And that's the difference. People will pretend that, oh, I'm 300 pounds. I'm still beautiful, blah, blah, blah. There's other things that make you beautiful. But the 300 pounds is not one of them.
Being beautiful is being yourself, but being yourself and like living a terrible lifestyle
and trying to support it. That's what I guess that's maybe my biggest qualm is. You can be 300 pounds and know it is, and I'll feel bad for those people. But maybe they don't want me to feel bad for them. Maybe that's me being patronizing. But my problem is it's glorified as if 300 pounds is the norm. It's not, and it also annoys me where, like I said, someone who's overweight tells me that I'm weird for going to the gym. I don't have a problem if you're overweight and you just live your life and that's who you are, because you're not affecting me in any way. But I don't want my kids looking at
looking at these
media and be like, oh, 300 pounds is beautiful. It's not, people, sorry. And it goes with a lot of other things.
It goes with like
that can be applied for anything.
There are some things that I have very strong opinions on that I will not. The problem is too, it's like you have strong opinions on things, but people get very upset about
which is unfortunate because in order to have discourse, in order to have conversation, you have to
resolve problems.
Right, you have to put forth. It's the Hegelian dialectic or whatever, where you have a thesis, someone presents you an antithesis, and then you synthesize both the antithesis and thesis to come to a compromise. That's just a basic how it should work. But if I say something about gender dysphoria.
That's a great point, because so the other day in my class, this is for my art internship class, or art management. We had to go around the room. We had to say our name, our major, and our pronouns. So we go around the room, and everyone says their pronouns. We don't have anyone that does not know their gender. But the fact that I have to sit there and say, please call me he, him, and his. It's like, no, I'm Jack. And like one of the kids in the class was like, my name's like Chad, and I'm a dude. So whatever those are. It's like, and then we had to fill out a worksheet. We had to interview someone. You had to ask them their freaking pronouns. It's like, no.
It's annoying because why? I guess accommodating a minority, but still, it's
uncomfortable when there's no minorities in the class, and then like we just have to sit there and be like, these are my pronouns.
It's stupid because on top of that, it annoys the hell out of me when your defining quality is your sexual orientation or your gender, whatever. That is your defining quality. When you meet someone, they're like, "Oh, I'm gay." Dude, I don't care. You can be gay, whatever. But why is that your go-to defining quality? Why is that your go-to defining quality?
I'm straight. I'm heterosexual.
Right. That's exactly. Hey, I'm Jack, or hey, I'm Brock. I'm straight and heterosexual. Like, okay.
I'm Jack. I've had a three-way before. I'm super straight, dude.
No one
way more straight than you do.
No one cares. Your defining quality should be something like, whatever. I'm an engineer and I study hard. Blah blah.
No, there should not be. And I'm an engineer. Your defining quality should be I am Brock. Nice to meet you, and not be like,
yeah, but my defining quality, as in, like, I'm a good engineer, as in, what if that's what I would do with my life?
But you're not your job, you're your personality, I would say. Like,
right, but I think when you meet someone, it's, hey, I'm a 6-year engineer, I'm an electrical engineer, blah, blah. But if your defining quality is, that would be like me saying, since a lot of people hold the belief, and me included, that you're born with something like this, being gay, you're born gay, whatever. That would be like me saying, hey, my name's Brock and I have blue eyes. Like, okay, yeah, you're born with that, but like, I don't care, dude. Like, great. And it's just annoying to me that and I guess I'm not even forced, really, but it's looked down upon if I accidentally call someone who evidently looks like a guy, hey, sir. It's like those videos where, it's ma'am. Dude, you look like a dude.
Dude, that happened to me when I was literally doing a stage performance at UMass Boston. We were reading, and my co-actor, it goes by he, and I was just saying I liked when the character Caleb did a great job, and I really thought that something, I don't know, in my mind, I clearly didn't say he or she, I just whatever, and he turned to me, he goes, I'm a man. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, Caleb. And he's like, no, like, I'm a man. Like, and then everyone in the room was just very uncomfortable because they knew, like, one, I am not a malicious person, and I would never just, like, the fact that you would attack me because I call, like, why?
It's like a normal thing. Like, why would all of a sudden, let me rearrange everything I've learned in life to accommodate you? Dude, I've been growing up looking at a man, calling them he. Why would all of a sudden, psych, she? You know what I mean?
It's like, the fact, too, that you let it like, so if someone calls you a chump and you don't think you're a chump, you're not going to be like, dude, why would you call me a chump? Unless it really, like, deep down you're insecure, and by agreeing that you're a chump.
Right.
That means, like, so by you coming out and having to tell me that you are a man because I misspoke, that means deep down you're just insecure. Like, you're like, I'm a man. I'm a man. It's like, I don't know.
Like, and it goes with my personal opinions, and like I said, we're going to have a discourse here. This is going to be maybe an unpopular opinion with some viewers, but I was reading an article where it talks about this phenomena of gender dysphoria among young adolescents is actually a social phenomenon. Now, I'm going to do a stipulation where this article and scientific study that I'm actually about to read out and present has a small sample size of about 256. So it is a smaller sample size, so take it with a grain of salt, but it is indicative, at least to an extent, where it talks about how there were 256 parent-completed surveys about gender dysphoria, etc., and I'll read it verbatim right now. The adolescent and young adult, AYA, child were described predominantly female at birth, with a mean age of 16.4. So 16 years old. 41% of the adolescents had expressed a non-heterosexual sexual orientation before identifying transgender. Many, and I think this is a very important part, 62% of those children that were surveyed had been diagnosed with at least one mental health disorder prior to actually, I guess, identifying. And in 36% of the friendship groups described, the majority of the members became transgender identified, which hints at the idea that it's a social phenomenon on top of, there are transgender people. There have always been transgender people.
There are people that are actually born with male parts and female parts.
They have the XY chromosome. Yeah. Well, they have the X. They have something wrong, not wrong. They have something different about their chromosomes where, hermaphrodites, etc. And not even that. I mean, look at Thailand. They've had a third gender for fucking ever. But I think now it's just, for some reason, it's been blown up, but it's also a social phenomenon as indicated by the study.
And people just want something to be able to identify as. It's
Right.
like, this is who I am. Therefore, I can be part of this group. And then I can be treated. It's like
treat me better because I'm different.
Treat me better because I'm different. And it's like you don't treat me bad because I suck. You treat me bad because you don't like transgender people. It's like, no, you're just being a fucking asshole. Get the fuck over it. How about you?
Like I have a
Like if you're trans and you're cool, we can be friends. I don't give a crap. But just because you're trans, just because you're gay, just because you're straight, if you fucking suck, you fucking suck.
Exactly. I'm never gonna be. If I'm driving on the highway and I see someone pulled over and I pull over to help them jump their car or whatever, and I see that's trans, I'm not like, on second thought, see ya, fucker.
But guess what? There are people out there in this world that are racist towards every different type of
race. They discriminate. They're prejudiced, and that's
life.
That's just life.
But
I mean, it sucks, and it should be trying to be rectified.
Those people anyone that is like I can like think clearly and is freaking not an asshole will not hate transgender people because they're transgender.
Right, you hate them because they're fucking assholes and
because I don't believe half of them are. They're just trying to be part. Same with like theater kids being all like theater kids, Chads being Chads. Everyone's just trying to fit into the group that they want to fit in.
And I think that's important because while you're, I don't want to say marginalizing, but a lot of these people are attacking people who are attacking the wrong people. There are people who are prejudiced, like we just said, and if you're yelling at me for accidentally, why are you want an ally, don't you? You want someone to help you, to support you. Why are you attacking me? I could be your good friend if you were just cool, if you were not a shithead about, oh, sorry, I called you he versus she, but instead you're, what the fuck, I'm a ma'am or I'm a sir.
Don't put me on blast in front of everyone and make me feel bad about something. It's like, how are you gonna make me feel bad for doing something that I did not on purpose and make me feel like I'm the worst human being in the world because I called you she?
And I think it should come with the territory, the knowledge that, oh, if I'm going to do this, at least while I'm transitioning or at least while there's going to be people who misgender me, I shouldn't get mad about that because I'm comfortable with myself. To me, it's a little bullshit and it frustrates me. And goes along with a lot of other things, but that specifically is just annoying. And that goes back to, if I ever said that at UMass, I'm getting roasted. There's a chance where I get hit with discrimination by the school, have to go to the board because there's no discourse. There's no chance for me to put my views.
Dude, college is again, that's why instantly we're at college now. It's like, announce your pronouns. It's like, what? In class, all of a sudden I have to do this? Like, I have to announce my pronouns? It's like, a school is such a good school because they're gender progressive. They're whatever. It's like,
dude, fuck you.
It's like, school, you don't care. You're just saying that so you can get all the transgender people to be like, I want to go to UMass Amherst because they're super transgender.
Right.
Same with Southern New Hampshire's like the SNU has been like that literally since we got there. They've been very proud. It's like they have a wall of all the teachers and they have all these different like their sexuality. It's like wow, they're gay. Someone's like these weird. It's like you're in the orth something. It's like you're attracted to some type of. I don't even know. There's so many different things. There's like you're attracted to men or you're attracted to women.
Oh yeah, there's
like.
And, like, my dad is very he was pissed about trying to introduce a bill that on your license you could have male, female, or other encompassing pansexual, bisexual.
Dude, in California, they passed that law that says now in court they have to use the word they.
That's stupid. But I tried to tell my dad, I don't find a problem with having a third option because... Give these people, they want an outlet, give them an outlet. But
they don't want an outlet, they just want to be able to freaking...
But some people actually want an outlet, why not have the option? But my problem would be, okay, we have 3. Other, like I said, encompassing, this is for unlicensed, what you are referred to as, other, male, female. I don't want to get to the point where it's male, female, pansexual, whatever, sapiosexual...
I'm attracted to men that look like women, but
right.
I'm straight. I'm Bruce Jenner, I still like girls, and I still like.
There has to be a fucking line. Stop being. It's just. That's my personal belief, and take it as it is. But that really grinds my gears.
It really grinds my gears too when it's like, no, dude, you're just not open-minded. It's like I'm one of the most open-minded people you'll ever meet in your life. But what I really am deep down is someone that is fucking logical, and that's the problem with most people is we're all not. Logical,
humans aren't logical by nature.
We're biased and whatever. We're emotional, and again, I'm emotional all the time. I've done a lot of stupid things due to emotion. But when you look at life with logic, there are right things and there are wrong things. It's like yes, you should be allowed to do whatever you want, but murdering people is not logical.
Right.
It's like,
well, I think I don't know if there is. I guess that's more of an absolutist versus relative point of view, where I think it's subscribed more to a middle, where there are wrong and right things, but sometimes it's blurred. But my thinking is, if it's not affecting me, if you are transgender, if you're gay, if you're straight, whatever, you're sleeping, doing whatever you want with your own body, it's not affecting me.
Dude,
why do I care?
That's the thing too. It's like, especially there's like obviously the theater community, that like community, like I've worked with all different kinds, like all different people, and they're all awesome. Like I have friends that are gay. I have like it has nothing to do with their sexual orientation, that if they're a good person or not.
It never comes down to, at least for me. I mean, like we said, it does for some people, and those people suck. But it never comes down to race, gender, sexual orientation. Because I don't give a shit. If you want to go home with your boyfriend, I don't care. Why would I ever involve myself with your sexual affairs? It doesn't affect me. And for some reason, even if I said this is like a hypothetical, or me playing devil's advocate, even if I said I don't think gays are right, or being gay is natural or moral, whatever. If I'm really religious and I think being gay is against Bible, whatever, that's my moral compass. But at the same time, I'm like, but do whatever you want. Why would anyone be pissed about that? Why do I have to align myself with your thinking if I'm not imposing my views on you? Because my views are just as valid as your views. I mean, what makes them less valid?
The whole thing is like, you don't know what it's like to be this. I'm like,
you're right.
Well, you don't know what it's like to be me, so
right,
why exactly?
It's like a victim race.
Yeah.
Who can be the biggest victim? Like, dude, you had some shitty experiences in your life, but that doesn't mean that my shitty experiences.
Do you think straight males can't have terrible experiences in life? It's like,
I mean, obviously some marginalized groups may have experiences, but that doesn't make my shitty experiences less shitty. Like, I still go through heartbreak. I still get shitty tests. I still fucking can have someone die close to me. It doesn't mean that I'm immune to all these things just because I'm a white
I can still get told I'm a freaking loser. I can still get made fun of. It's like,
I can still get shot from the street. It's that's what it drives my gears, as if with this whole political environment where white males are the cause of all my problems, or white males privilege. Dude, I still have a shitty time. Like, come on, there's some shitty situations for all shitty types of people.
Well, we live in a culture. My uncle used to say it best. Growing up, we say everything's the greatest or the worst. Like we're in such extremes. Everything's an extreme with our society. It's like, dude, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, not everything is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Not everything is the greatest. Things can just be good.
And it doesn't...
And you can't just categorize a whole group. I mean, yes, for some things you need to, but realistically, everything is a base by base.
Right.
Like, in reality,
Humans
you need to look at things by base.
Right. And there are statistics that can generalize things, but I think there's a nuance in what we're talking about, where statistics have their place, but you have to also take into account the individual, because individuals, it is true that every person is unique, at least in some sense.
Yeah, well, everyone is, like, regardless, you could be a twin and you can have everything be the same, but there's still something about you that only you have.
Exactly.
We can like the same things, but that doesn't mean we're all the same. Exactly. Except the problem is everyone now literally is trying to be the same. And it's like, we want to be this exact person or this persona, so we'll all do the exact same things, take the exact same pictures, do all the same crap, just blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But I mean, life is crazy because people are partying and then they're out there being all in your face, being Chads and Brads and Toy Boys.
How'd your first week of class go?
It went pretty well. I really like Amherst so far, guys. I was talking to some girl and she's like, "You've been to 4 colleges? How about you make this your last one?" I was like, that's the plan. That's the plan. But how was your class? Anything left you want to say in today's episode?
No, first week class was fine. I already have a shitload of homework. So if you're in the
engineering, baby.
Yeah, engineering. We're so much smarter than everyone else. If you're in the same boat, just make sure you get Get that shit done.
Get that stuff done.
Don't procrastinate. Just get it done. It sucks when you're doing homework and you see your boys, not doing homework, whatever. But get it done. It's worth it in the end. Put in the work, and you will reap the benefits. You reap what you sow. You know what I mean?
Why don't you complain about it? I'd rather hear you complain about how you have homework and I don't, rather than you just do it.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, how do I know you have more homework than me if you don't tell me you have more homework than me?
Yeah,
it's not fair. It's like, it's not fair. That's the problem, man. It's like, it's not fair. I didn't pick this life. It's like, yeah, you did. You picked that major.
Dude, it sucks that you don't have homework as a art major, but I'm an engineering. Like,
it's like,
yeah, dude, that comes with the fucking territory, you retard. Like, you should be smarter and know that if you're fucking engineer and think you're the shit. Like, yeah, you're gonna have more homework. That is just what comes with territory. Stop complaining about art majors having less homework or finance majors having less homework. That is just the territory. Stop being a pussy.
For my philosophy class, I had to read a 22-page paper about why art is important, and it's written in jargon. It's like, you want to read that? It's like, I'd rather have a math problem I can solve. It's all difficult. It's all boring homework.
Yeah, everyone it's the same thing. Everyone goes through the same shit. Why is an art major's problem less valid because you have more homework? Everyone has shitty things. It's the same principle. Stop being an asshole. Everyone has shitty times. Just because you have more homework doesn't mean art major homework is less valid.
It's like, just because you don't like engineering, but it's going to get you a good job, so you sit there and do it anyway, but it's like, I hate this, it's stupid, it sucks. It's like, dude, then freaking either don't do it, change your major, or
stop fucking complaining and just do it. Don't be a pussy.
It comes down to life, man. Just don't complain. If it sucks, we know it sucks. Don't complain. If it really bothers you that much, stop doing it.
Exactly.
So
that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, exactly. Another great time, great talk. Again, boys, A's are for assholes. D's get degrees. Shout out to the copyright free music, and play us out. See ya. College.
evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here